just got the blood moving a little bit. What does it mean to be a man in this day and age? 2025. We are so soft. And I include myself in that. I've gotten soft. I've gotten very soft. Now, my life experience has allowed me to not be as soft as most people. And I could see this because I walked into the cigar shop yesterday. I see this dude. He's clearly not from America. Lock eyes with him, smile, say hi. How you doing? I go, where are you from? He looks at me and he's kind of like taken aback. Because I'm from here. I go, you're not from here. I start laughing. He starts laughing. I go, where are you from? He goes, what do you mean? I'm like, where are you from? He goes, I'm from Africa. I'm like, cool. What part? And we have a great conversation. But what I did there, and the reason that this conversation even happened, was because I got back into my essence of being a man. And being a man is having a zest for life. It's feeling what it's like to have balls. It's going in and not necessarily having to assert your will on anything, just because you have the will of a man. And so why I bring this up with just a simple conversation is because when I had that conversation with that guy, we sat in that cigar lounge for 20 minutes just talking about life. And when I look at that compared to what I was doing before, I'd just gotten soft. I kind of was going through the motions, waiting for something to happen, waiting to get clients so that my business could finally kickstart. And all of that was me just not being a man, just waiting to be ready. And when we wait to be ready, we're in the feminine. Life is happening to us, not for us. We create life happening for us. And we do that when we choose to show up and do hard shit. So, this kid's about to steal my cigar, start smoking and get absolutely stacked. When we start showing up and we wake the body back up, we start living again. And that's when all the things that are supposed to happen in our reality start happening. Because what I found as a man, we have tremendous pressure to be doers, to be something, to have ambitions, to make those ambitions a reality. And what I noticed in my own life is that when I really went for it in all the things that I've done, it was just it wasn't even conscious. It was just a choice of, this is what I'm gonna do. There's no argument. There's no thinking. It just happens. And that is being a man. Because when we live that way, we live as God intended us to live, which is waking up every day with a vigor for life. I woke up this morning and my body doesn't wake up very quickly like some people. I don't just zap out of bed. I'm going to change that. But I woke up and I had the weight vest sitting in the closet for a while. I just put it out next to my bed. I put my running shoes down. I put my gear down. And I just told myself, you're going to wake up in the morning. You're not going to go on your phone. You're going to put that fucking vest on. You're going to light a cigar. And you're going to go to the park. And you're going to rip out some pull-ups. And that's what I did. And so when we create this containment, the masculine is a container. When we create the containment, this is where our reality is shaped. But for a lot of us, if we don't have any containment at all, it's just like You're waiting for the container to show up. It's like it's just sitting here. Oh yeah, today I'm gonna get some stuff done, and yeah, my business is. I'm waiting for it to take off. It's like no, 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 no. Get in the cockpit, turn the thing on, and point us where we're going. That's the masculine container. You got to do that for yourself every day. And I haven't been doing that for myself, and that's why I'm in the position I'm in. It's actually not a bad position to be in. I've conquered many hills, and I am a skilled tactician in the area of life now. But with that being said, I am working to make my container even tighter so that I can create an even bigger reality in which really cool people, places, and things can fit into. And at the end of the day, I think men are most centered and focused on money. But if we zoom out and we look really at what that it usually is for most men, myself included, it's really just women. For a lot of guys, the sole focus is women. And we do a really, really good job at not having a container. And without the container, we don't have truth. And when we don't have truth, life just goes on autopilot. And when life goes on autopilot, I don't care who you are as a man, you're not living to your potential. So what that looks like for me is I was lying to myself for the longest time. I'm like, oh yeah, when my business is up and running and I've got, because I transitioned out of old business models, the new business, when that's up and running and I got X amount of cash flow coming in, I'm gonna finally go out and I'm gonna get myself a nice apartment, and then I'm gonna go cold approach, and then women are gonna like me more. It's all bullshit. It's all bullshit. What do I want to do now? I want to go talk to hot chicks. I want to make money. I want to change clients' lives. And I want to have a great time doing all of it. Doing all of it. I think Matthew McConaughey, he said the greatest thing his son ever told him. His son was going to summer camp. He goes, son, what are you most excited about? Oh, I just want to go meet awesome people and have an awesome time. And Matthew's like, that's a pretty good North Star for life. I'm like, yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. And so all of this is to say, we do a very, very good job, especially men in the self-development space, of self-developing to self-develop so that we can finally have that thing. Well, I spent 5+ years reading books on how to talk to chicks. And then I realized all this shit that I learned is bullshit. You don't need a book or a model or a method to go talk to women. You literally walk up. You don't need a lab coat and a degree being a scientist to be a scientist. You go out into the world, you test some shit, and then you make claims off of your hypothesis. I'm gonna go talk to a girl today, and my hypothesis is if I talk to her correctly using the right tactics, and I move her from A to B to C, then finally we're gonna get to S, and then hopefully that S is gonna lead to EX. It's like, or you could just go be a human being and be in this reality. And as we move things around as men, as we move in the world, that's when the world opens up to us. And that's when cool shit starts happening. All the cool shit that happened in my life happened after I quit my job as a nurse. When I was working as a nurse, I was stacking cash and I was doing cool stuff still because I had the cash. But in my mind at that time, and what society gave me was have a nest egg, have enough security, and when you have enough security, you're going to be good. And then you can go live your life. It's bullshit. It's bullshit. The amount of people I met, especially Europeans, they're very good at this, just traveling the world on like $1,000. They're traveling the world. And they don't know how they're going to make their next $50. They don't know anything about investment banking or how to increase by 7% per year in order to get a certain amount of money. They don't care about any of that. They want to go travel and experience life. So they work a summer job, stack up less than what anyone in America even has, and they go to like 17 countries in a couple months, and they go meet really cool people. Some of them become lifelong friends. But then when they're sitting at their dinner table 45 years old and their kid is deciding to go on a backpacking trip versus maybe going to college, the dad's going to be like, yeah, go on that backpacking trip, go live your life, go meet people, go see things, go do things, go take that trip. And what's really funny is I have like next to nothing in my bank account right now. It doesn't matter. My life experience, the things I can pull off of, the conversations I can have with people now are so rich. I am wealthier than most people walking earth because I went for it. And that was me and my masculinity. It's like, no, I'm not going to work this shitty job anymore. Yeah, I'm making 6 figures. I don't care. I'm leaving. I'm leaving. I'm out. You can't do that, Logan. You're throwing your life away. Are you going to come back to nursing? No, I'm not. I'm not. It's not what I'm doing. I don't want to do that. My soul is telling me to do something different. And so to be truly masculine in this day and age, it's a completely different ballgame. We have computer technology where you can literally make a business overnight and make a lot of money. But none of it matters. It's how do you want to live your life? What kind of lifestyle do you want to build? Because I'll tell you this, to live in this world now, it is the easiest, society is the easiest place to live that it's ever been, ever. There's a couple wars going on right now, and it's the same shit as it's always been. There's always been wars, and there's always been people trying to convince people to join their war. Well, what's the best thing to do as a man? It's not go enlist. Now, if your brother got killed by some dude who's fighting on the other side, you might as well strap up. Just go take care of that yourself. You don't need to outsource it to some government agency where your friends got to pay tax dollars for a golden toilet seat. Watch this, watch. I'm gonna turn it up. Boom. Everything in society now, well, probably always has been this way because cycles, history repeats itself in different patterns. But everything's trying to get you to go into its frame. So Trump just had a big old 250th year anniversary for the Army. It was cool. My dad and his girlfriend, they literally made their whole entire Saturday. I think it happened last weekend. Their whole Saturday was watching this rally. They're like, this is so great. All the troops they're gonna get from this, and it was the biggest marketing campaign I've ever seen in my life for the military. And I'm watching this thing. They're just driving around on tanks. And literally, it's a broadcast to show the rest of the world, we got more tanks than you. And I'm like, this is great marketing, but I'm not signing any contract. So the amount of kids that watch that don't have any masculine containment, some of them might, they go, I don't really have anything going on in my life right now. I hate my parents, or my parents left me, or they died in a car accident. I hate my hometown. I don't know what I want to do with my life. Let me sign this contract by the government. I'm going to be their property, and then I'll figure it out. I kind of want to start a business, but it'll be easier to just sign this contract instead. And I'll stack a little bit of cash I'll also get to travel. They're going to send me to Yemen, and and I'll be good. And that's what a lot of people do. They do that with military contracts. They do that contracting with employers in companies where the sole aim of the game is to extract as much resources from their clients and as much resources from their employees without paying them as much so they can get a profit margin. And I know people running big companies. There's one guy I'm going to go hang out with. He's dope. He's got a swimming company. He provides tons of investment and jobs to the economy. He's doing great shit. But what I'm describing to you is the way society is feminized by creating a false sense of security in life. And so men will sign contracts and contract with people that is against their soul's essence. And ultimately, the main thing I want you to take away from this video is, what is your soul trying to tell you to do? Because the signing the paper without fully thinking about what your soul wants to do, it's a death sentence. And what will end up happening is, for a lot of people, their dreams get lost in that death sentence. For those with a strong enough spirit, they will go into that thing and they'll go, oof, I actually don't like this as much as when I signed this contract. Here's what I'm going to do to get out of it. And so maybe you sign a contract and you're in it for 2 years, and your only decision based off of what you think you can do, depending on what the contract is to stay in it. Well, while you're in it, you make the decision to every day think about the dream of what life's going to look like when you're out of that contract, and you're building it. You create the container and you start building your life around that dream and that vision. And every day you wake up and you cultivate that dream and that vision, and you think about it and you obsess over it, and you stack your money and you put it towards that dream. And then that second that contract, that new contract appears, the old one gets put on the desk, put in the shredder pile. That new contract appears, you go, fuck you, I'm out. Well, what are you going to go do? You've invested all of this time and energy into this career path. What are you going to do? That's for me to know and for you to find out. That's what you say to your employer. I'm going to go buy a boat and I'm going to travel the world. What? You're crazy. I'm going to go buy a small plot of land and I'm going to get some bees. What are you going to do? Well, I'm going to make some honey. That's it? Yeah, that's what I want to do right now. I'll probably find a nice missus and we'll have like 6 kids within 3 years. Hopefully 2 sets of twins. It's going to be a great life. Way better than working with you guys. That's the vibe. The masculine container. How do you create that though? Well, you got to be fucking honest with yourself. Because if you are not creating your reality, someone else will do it for you. This is what all of society is built off of. This is why we have these incredible papers called the Constitution, the Bill of Rights. We have these things that were built by 20-year-old men who said, fuck this monarchy, this is bullshit. Let's create a society where every single person that comes here is equal through the eyes of God. And the only way we're going to be able to make this work is if our government is structured in a way where all of us are savages, right? We left a tyrannical government and we went to war with them to create this new place. So what we're not going to do is create a new tyrannical government. How are we going to do that? We're going to create a society in which every single man that's walking in that society is a free man And his only obligation is to God. And through that obligation, every man will walk with undeniable divine law and divine rights, the rights of God. And he will speak through the words of God, he will act through the words of God, and he will hold the standards of God on other people in the government. That is what the United States was built off of. And I'm reading into law more. You should absolutely pick up some books on this. When we understand what we were built off of, we can get back to it. But if we don't understand it at all, we'll never understand what we're missing. And what we're missing right now in the US and as men is strong men knowing their God-given rights and being able to enforce those rights and that will onto the rest of society. And this is how you create a society of strong men. I've been to many countries. There are many men walking around in certain countries. The Greeks are a good example of this. The Greeks have a shitty government. Everyone has a shitty government. I'm not going to argue about the sovereignty and stuff like that with other countries because I don't know all their ins and outs. All I know is the men in Greece are way more alive than the Americans. Way more alive. Got in an Uber with the taxi. I got in an Uber with the taxi driver. I got in a Uber with an Uber driver. This guy was so full of life, vigor, strong dude. Definitely went to the gym. Driving for Uber. You get in a car with a guy in America who's driving for Uber. He's stopping at McDonald's every 5 minutes. This guy could hold eye contact with me. He could shake my hand. He could pull my bags out of the trunk without back pain. And we looked each other in the eyes, and I could see he was living. He was alive. Maybe not fully sovereign. Maybe had entanglements and stuff like that, but the guy was alive. Because in other countries, they're way more masculine. Their laws might not be as good. Their legal systems definitely, some would say, are not as good. I would say that's actually better. But at the end of the day, a government that rules the people is not a government I want. Because our founding fathers created their government to be ruled by the people. The government is only there for drastic events. Like when you have a war, you want your government officials to be taking care of it and to make sure that the sanctity of the country is taken care of. But what happens when the government takes that power and puts it into every legal system that exists, including the medical system, and runs it? And essentially, any person who is trying to assert their God-given rights because the government has taken full control and threatens through putting you in a prison in a penal system, you stop speaking up, you stop living, you stop doing the things that you want to do. And then you get embedded into this system and this massive entanglement, this spider's web of being a man who isn't a man anymore. So the first way to get out of this is to stop fucking lying to yourself. Oh yeah, I can bench more than you. I'm more of a man. All right, well, right now here on this grass, let's wrestle. Let's see whose will is stronger. Let's see who has more skill. What I want you to do, let's go out tonight. We're going to go to the club. We're going to see how much of a man you are. We're going to go into the sexual marketplace and we're going to see how much vital life force do you have to impose your will on other people. And when I say impose will, it's not in a way in which you're getting people to do things they don't want. It's in a way where when you make eye contact with someone, they respect you. That's masculinity. That's masculine containment. And if you want the girls, you want the money, you want all those things, you have to have masculine containment with yourself. You cannot have masculine containment in the world. You cannot go get what you want. You cannot hold space for clients. If you're a businessman and you can't hold space for clients, you don't have a business. To close a business deal, you have to show that person and allow them to feel enough trust in you. Having one of these gun torches is a good way to do that. They got to have enough trust in you that they feel safe. And this is why so many men are red pilled now. And they talk about, you got to do this with women to get women. Well, no, you don't. All you got to do is be a man. What does a man do? A man does whatever the fuck he wants. And I got a lot to learn here too. There's a lot of areas of my life where I'm improving this. But the essence of this conversation is masculine containment. When you create a container where it's you and God talking every day, God, what is it that I got to do? And you hold the space, and God tells you something, and you go, oh no, that's not it. God's like, I just told you that. I do not misspeak. You have to be able to hold the space tight enough to go, oh, that's the truth. Okay, hold on. Let me feel into this. Is that true? You can feel it in your body. And when you connect with the truth, you stop bullshitting yourself. And so what society has done, continues to do, has probably always done this, is it creates a container of safety for all of its citizens. America is a very good example of this. Very safe place for the most part. You can walk around, I can walk around with my phone and I know I'm not going to get robbed. It's a safe place. It's good. There's a lot of good things about America that make it such a great country, and I love being here. The issue is, if I have a client and we contract together, we have an agreement, not a contract, an agreement. We have an agreement that this is how it's going to be done. These are the rules. The rules are in place so that both of us come out on the other side better than we were before when we started. If, for whatever reason, anything changes, I know you and I know I will speak up and communicate our needs and our wants and any messed up desires that might screw up us being able to move through this agreement properly together. Issue comes up, we have a conversation. You don't sue me. You don't threaten me with your attorneys. We both show up as men and we fix the situation. And if I fuck up, I'm going to do what I can to give you what you need so that we can move forward and it's cordial and nobody has to go to any court system. But what everyone has done now is they have outsourced their own power with God to some third party. And America is the best at this. Every single person, not every single person, so many people that I talk to, my dad and his girlfriend are a great example of this. You start talking about someone who fucks someone over, they don't even know the brevity of the situation. They just impose their own thoughts onto it, and they go, they should sue the shit out of them and make tons of money off of it. This is, they say this about a lot of things. Oh, well, just fucking sue them. Just legal up. Well, how do you legal up when you are a small business owner and you have all these people who are called attorneys who studied legalese, which is the language of the legal system, and it's designed in a way that's so complicated that you have to study it and speak it in order to fall into its frame. Well, most people aren't going to win in a courtroom where you are literally playing a game with someone who sits with a black robe on a pedestal. You're not going to win, right? And so society is structured in a way to take you of your power from God so that you can't speak in a courtroom. But when you become a truly divine masculine man and you know your rights, your God-given rights, you can show up in a courtroom and you can take the floor and you can speak directly to your magistrate, your honor, as a sovereign being. And this applies to every area of life. You don't need to go outsource everything to everyone in order to make it happen. I have a buddy. He's been trying to get into the business game for a long time. I have all my old friends. They reach out to me. And they're kind of dabbling in business, but they don't want to go into it fully because they're afraid of taking full responsibility for themselves. One of my buddies is like, "Hey man, I'm gonna pay this company like $300. It's kind of a lot to write a really high level resume for me, and then they're gonna send it to all these companies." And I go, "Okay, cool. You got any questions for me?" He goes, "No." All right, cool, great. Sounds like you got the plan down. I had plenty of advice to give him, but I didn't give him any because I didn't have his consent, and he didn't want it. Calls me 3 months later. This company gets him a job. So I'm like, "Oh, cool, it worked out." He's like, "Yeah, but I don't really like it." I'm like, "Okay, what don't you like about it?" It's like, "Well, they got me with this company. I'm a ghostwriter, and I'm getting paid $15 an hour, like minimum wage, and I've got to write these resumes." I go, "Okay, anything you have a question about?" And he's like, "Yeah, I actually have a lot of questions. What would you do?" I go, "Well, if it were me, I would have never gotten that resume done. I would have done it myself. And now that you know the ins and outs of the business," um, he ended up telling me, he said, they're making like $200 off of me writing a resume for another person. So he he hires he gets hired, he hires this company to get him a job. They get him a job writing resumes for other companies. How hilarious is that? So he starts writing these resumes for these companies. He's getting paid $15 an hour, and they're selling it for like $2, $3, $4, sometimes $1,000 to these executives. I go, "Dude, you want to know how to get out of this?" He goes, "How?" I go, "Start your own fucking company doing the same thing and then sell it." He goes, "Well, I don't know how to do that." I go, "Okay, well, learn." Learn in the company you're in now how they're doing it, and then go do it. And you'll make way more money. You could, if you get, he can live off nothing, essentially. The guy's scrappy. All men are scrappy when they want to be. He used to sell he lived in a college town, and he would sell mattresses. He would find the season when all the kids were moving into the apartments, and he'd get tons of mattresses, and he'd sell them to them for like 90% markup. And he would just make money that way. I'm like, "Dude, you're super scrappy. Just figure out how they're doing it. You get one client for $1,000, and you're good for a couple months with the way you live your life, and then just rinse and repeat, and just do that with way more people, and now you got $10,000." He's like, "That's a really good idea." I'm like, "Yeah, I know. Do it." Still hasn't done it. And he hasn't done it because safety feels a lot better. People want safety, and that's not what men want. We don't want safety. We've been taught that. Get it out of your fucking head. We don't want safety. To be a man is to be scrappy as fuck and to be able to assert your will on the world. That means if I don't have money, I'm actually doing this right now. I do body work. I do a lot of shit, but I trained with this maestro in Brazil. His name's Edu. Incredible dude. If you're ever in Brazil, hit me up. I'll send you to him. He's actually going to have, we're going to do a training session in Dallas. You guys can pop by the clinic in July. And we're taking 4 clients. We're going to work on you. Open your body up. But so I have I'm starting this myofascial release business, right? To help my community. And I'm like, how do I get clients? Well, it's easy. Buy a table so I look a little more professional. I prefer to work on the ground, but to get my first clients, I got to meet them where they're at. Get a table, set it up in this park, and just sit here at 6 in the morning until I have my first client. Every person that walks by, I go, hey, you get a free 15-minute body work session. It's going to be better than anything you've ever experienced before. Want to do it? I work on someone for 15 minutes, they're a client for life. And not for life because I actually get people results and they don't need me anymore. That's a real practitioner. That is the scrappiness. That is completely getting rid of the outsourcing. And what I've done for the longest time is every time I would start to run out of money or get uncomfortable, I would go try and find the place that made me feel the most comfortable. And what was that? That was with an employer. So I'm not saying don't do this. I think it's amazing. And Hormozy talks about this. If you don't have a skill set, go have a company, go become an employee to a company who will train you in that skill set, learn that skill set, and then go do your own thing. So I learned sales. I spent 3 years in the sales industry. I was bouncing around all these offers. And every time I get into a new company, I'd be like, this is it. And then I'd realize, oh yeah, they're doing a lot of things that I wouldn't do. And I want to do my own thing. So I would keep getting to the point where I'd get low on my nest egg, or I'd be in a company that I found corrupt and I couldn't ethically sell once I found out what was going on. So I'm like, I got to quit. Sometimes I'd be making 10K a month. There's one company I made $15,000 in a month, and I'm like, it can't really work for you anymore. And I chose, my soul chose, is like, I'm not going to do this. But a lot of men now, because they've been taught by women how to live life, or they've been taught by a third party society that they need to have enough money in their bank account to be secure. And as long as I have $5,000 coming in, X amount goes to rent, X amount goes to food. I got a little spreadsheet and I can make 7% on the S&P. I'm going to be good. And then finally, when I have $100,000 in the bank account, I'm going to go talk to a girl. Why? Why? Just do it now. Just do it now. We only have today. Get after it today. Put a weight vest on today. Go to the park today. Do some fucking pull-ups today. Doesn't matter if you don't have money. You can find a park with some pull-up bars. That's it. Scrappiness in life. That's what we need. We need more of it. And we need to stop outsourcing our life to other people that don't know what we actually want. When you keep on going to jobs and working with people, you're going to get paid less because they are providing security. Stop seeking security. Seek discomfort. Through the discomfort, you will find that you get to be your own sovereign being, like this little kid, and you can go play on the playground. And when you're playing on the playground, you start making way more money. So this is a message to myself too, but masculine containment. This is the essence of the video. Masculine containment. Contain yourself first. If you say you're gonna start getting jacked and ripped, start going into the kitchen, start going to the grocery store, get everything you need, make your meals, start hitting the gym, eat your meals, wake up in the morning, do your meditation, walk without your phone first thing in the morning. Do the things that you need to in order to keep your vessel clean, and get out into the world and be a man. I'm learning so much about this topic. To be a man means to go live. And you live by interacting with the rest of society. I spent so much of my time on a computer, trapped in a bedroom, trying to connect with people. It's not real connection. Right? Did I get a lot of clients doing that? Yes. And I still do that. I work with people online as well. But ultimately, the more I go out into the world and I show people the container I've created for myself, they want to work with me. They want me to teach them how to contain their own essence and open up their spirit so they can be sovereign. And when you're sovereign, you can speak like this. You can speak about all different types of topics because it's lived experience, it's embodied. When I talk to people about law, I can now use words where people are like, holy shit, I never thought of it that way. Because I provided a container for myself in which I can learn, I'm safe in this world. Whatever I go do, whoever I choose to go talk to, I'm going to be fine. No one can hurt me. I'm protected by God. Ultimately, this whole entire conversation is cut out the middleman and connect with the man upstairs. Sky Daddy. Sky Daddy is living up there and he's waiting for you to talk to him. He's got tons of shit he can share with you. You don't need to go outsource your relationship with God to a third party, which is the church. You don't need to do that. Learn to speak to him here, and you will experience heaven on earth. Enjoy your day.